It's Thursday. My rant for today is about how we try to have conversations across our differences and the nonsensical way that we try to connect with other people and bring people to understand the error of their thinking and the harmfulness of the ways that they think, using techniques and using strategies, I guess it's strategies or approaches, I don't know, that don't really work. Okay, so I'm going to start out with an analogy. For those of you who have taken my training, you have seen this before, so just roll with it. So I'm going to say, this is the phone. This is my phone. This is an absolute integral part of my life. This is how I make sure that my mother's well, that she's, being cared for and doing what she needs to do. This is how I connect with people who say, hey, I need your help, and I can be there. This is how I just laugh and connect with loved ones. This is how I stay up on what's happening in the world. This is a very, very integral part of my existence. It's a phone. You cannot tell me it's not a phone. Okay. So I'm sitting across from John, and John says, Michelle, this is a camera. This is a camera. I I chronicle the most important parts of my life with this thing. I chronicle the birth of my child from this thing. I connect with everyone. I check on my elderly parents who are in another state through this thing, and so that I can see them and see what's going on. This is absolutely, without question, a camera. Okay. So we both have our truth. Phone, John says it's a camera, and we are arguing or debating about something that, one, if you heard what I said, there's a lot of meaning assigned to our understanding of what it is. I didn't say it's just a phone. I said, this is how it's an integral part of my life. It is important to me. This is how I keep up with the people that I love. John said, this is how I chronicle the best parts in the magic of my life. This is a phone. So we both have tons of meaning assigned to the definition and why we think what it is, why we think it is what it is. Okay. So when we're talking about, let's debate the device, we're not talking about just the device. We're talking about a whole history of things that have happened in our life to get us to understand that this, in fact, is exactly what I say it is. It is my truth. And John's saying, no, this is my truth. So when you have two people that are 10 toes deep in their understanding of what something is, how are we going to have conversations that move anything forward? Okay. This is called, there's my truth, there's your truth, there's the truth. And the mistake is, I operate from my truth as if it's the truth. John operates from his truth as if it's the truth. So if what you're thinking, you're saying is not just, oh, this is my truth. If you're thinking it is the absolute truth, there's no room for conversation. Okay. So that's the first thing. So this is how we move in conversations, in just general conversations, but also I see it a lot in, as we talk about justice, social justice, what's happening in the world. So when people are talking about borders, they're not just talking about borders. They're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. When we're talking about trans folks, we're talking about a whole history of other stuff. When we're talking about policing, when we're talking about the economy and tariffs, we're talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not just a device. It's not just an issue. And so what we're doing is we're bringing our whole world, and all of the stuff we're bringing, we're talking about our family of origin. We're talking about our geographic, where we grew up. That's different. We're talking about generationally. Did you grow up in the 60s or the 90s? You're going to think totally different. We're talking about a race. We're talking about gender. We're talking about all of these, our wounds, our traumas. All of these things that make up who we are is how we define this particular thing. And now we don't understand why you can't just come to my side. You can't just see it my way. I don't know if that's ever worked, but what I have seen so far is that facts don't work. Data doesn't work. Training doesn't work. Debating doesn't work. Shaming people doesn't work to get people to change or to think differently. Why do we do that? Most of us are not in these fringe camps. I'm talking about the messy middle, Those of us who are like, I have my way of seeing things, it's just always worked for me. I'm not exposed to anything else. I'm not interested in it being exposed to anything else. I watch my news station. It validates what I think. It's, all of these things. We stay in our circle of knowledge and community of people, and we traffic in the same conversation. How do we find a way to even think differently? So my approach, and this is a approach, is my approach, is not the approach, but my approach is always, let's start with where we are alike. So training not too long ago, I was like, so Paul, you have people you love? Yeah. Oh, me too. Great. Do you want them to be able to, do you want them to be safe and be able to have food to eat and have enough? Yeah. Okay. Me too. Do you want them to be able to get the access to the healthcare they need should something, God forbid, happen, or the education they want to be able to grow and make choices and live in this freedom, in their freedoms to be who their best version of themselves, whatever that version is, it's the best version of themselves. Yeah, me too. Let's just start there, because from there is some place where we can start to build from. And if somebody walks away feeling like, I guess we do have the same values along those lines, that is inching somebody forward into even thinking slightly different. This is not about switching anybody's mind. That's not going to happen. Oops, not in a conversation, and not by shaming or debating or any of that. So my rant is, let's stop just thinking that we can get people to think differently by yelling in their face or shaming or name calling. I don't know if that's ever worked. I've never seen it work, but I have seen some things that work. And that's why I lead with grace, because stepping back and finding the commonalities from that basic human place, at least that's some place to start. Okay, that's my rant for today, y'all. Bye.